Hi, this is Jen for Floppy Earth Pottery. This is video number 3 of me throwing with a blindfold on. I saw this on the Great Pottery Throwdown and I thought it was such a cool idea, and I've been wanting to try it, and finally got the courage to do so, because I kept envisioning horrible things happening, tools flying everywhere, me getting impaled by something. So far it hasn't happened. Actually found that I'm really enjoying it too. I can't say that I've mastered it. Again, it's only the third one, but my second one I actually really liked. I learned a lot from the first video that I did. Learned a lot from the second one. I'm hoping that I'll continue to learn as I continue to do this, because I plan on doing more of it. I don't know if I'll be videotaping every single one, but I found that it's just a different way, and it's freeing me from looking at what's happening and really feeling what the clay is doing. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm finding that I'm concentrating on what it is that I want this to become, and because I'm not seeing where maybe it's getting off center, it's a little wobbly. It's allowing me to really focus on what it is I'm trying to build, and so it seems to help me with the throwing process so far. But again, I don't know if it's just a fluke, if it happened just on the last couple of videos. So I'm curious to see if I continue to do it, if I will learn more and hopefully make me a better potter. I'm always striving for that. So, recap, these were the first two that I threw. Number 3 is this one. I'm going to go for almost like a beehive kind of exterior. So I'm hoping to have 3 equally sized little bump outs, but I don't know what's going to happen. And I may or may not do a foot. So the way I am set up is I am working off of my Shimpo VL Whisper. I love this wheel. It's really, really quiet. I'm using standard 240 grog. This is actually from a brand new bag. The other 2 were from recycled clay. So I'm hoping this is a better consistency. I found that the other clay balls were a little too wet. I have a water bucket here, and then underneath, kind of off camera, you'll see my collection of little tools that I'll be using. So if my hands go off camera, it's because I'm blindly reaching for one of these things. And then I also keep a plaster bat that I use whenever I have like bits of clay coming out, especially on the foot or something. You'll see me reach off camera. It's usually I'm putting a piece of clay here so that I could then re-wedge it and reuse it. And I guess that's it. So wish me luck. Again, we're going for this, just a reminder. Let's see how this goes. My hair is probably going to look like a mess. I apologize. Here we go. What I've been finding has been, believe it or not, the hardest thing has been finding my sponge in my water bucket. I seem to know where to reach, but I can't find it in there. I think it's time I change that water. I've gotten used to throwing with that reclaimed clay. Now I'm finding this one's a little harder, so I'm just having to work a little harder to center. Oh, and if I didn't mention, all of my mugs that I've been doing this way have been about a poundish of clay, maybe a little under, maybe a little over. Okay. That's feeling centered to me, somewhat. Okay. Now, the way I tend to open is a little different, I think, than what most of us are taught. Instead of in and pulling, I go in. One thing that I find hard is I can't judge the bottom yet, so I think I'm leaving a little bit more than I typically do. So the way I open is I drag sideways. I find, for me, it seems to work better. My clay doesn't get off center, and I tend to get like almost like a 90-degree edge on the inside, which I really like for mugs. I want to say either somebody taught me that or I saw it on a video, but I've been using that technique now for well over a year, and I like it more. At least for me, I find I get a better piece, and I tend not to knock it off center. I don't know why this technique of pulling towards me seems to always make it go off center for me. I know for my first piece that's what I did, but I was just kind of trying something else out. Okay, I'm going to try pulling up now. And what I mentioned in the other video too is I have a tendency to flare out the top of my vessels. Realize I didn't compress, so let's compress before I do more of this. I think I tend to pull out when I'm throwing, and something I've been really trying to work on because I know it's not good. Because I'm fighting that if I'm making taller vessels. I think it's still centered. It feels like it is. And also the hard thing I have found throwing blind is of course size. Things feel very different from what I think is happening to what is actually happening. I think I threw too thin there. It feels, yeah, it feels wobbly. Okay. Oh yeah, I thinned out that wall way too much. Oh, I'm gonna lose it. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Ooh, that was bad. So this was not successful at all. Ooh, yeah, look how thin that wall was. I could feel it. Really bad. Yeah, I thinned out the middle too much. I'm just feeling right now to see what it looks like, yeah, or what it feels like. I have a really thick rim, really thin wall. There was no way that that was going to survive. Okay. Well, number 3, we'll have to wait for another day. Sometimes success eludes you. Yeah, this was bad. Look how thin that wall was. I mean, it's thin. It's almost paper thin. And I had a lot of clay here. Let's just see what this looks like. Yeah, look how thin that got. You can see it better there. That's like really bad throwing. Okay. Well, it's a learning process, right?